So I seen this and I was like, what is going on? The Supreme Court just handed Trump a license to racially profile. ICE can now stop you for your skin color, your accent, your job, even where you're standing. Fuck, my phone about to die. No hearings, no explanations, just cruelty. Signed 6-3. Justice isn't blind, it's weaponized. This even where you're standing shit reminds me of like New York stop and frisk. I'm gonna get to the article about what's really happening, but let's see what people are talking about. Today, the Supreme Court ruled that ICE is allowed to stop or detain people based solely on their ethnicity or that they speak Spanish. It's a re-legalization of official racism that immediately brings us into a new era of Jim Crow. It's a five-alarm fire for the Constitution, overturning of the Fourth Amendment, unreasonable search and seizure. Freedom in this country is now under full assault. If they can do this to immigrants, they can do that to you. I say this all the time. This whole slippery slope of, oh, we don't know who we're deporting. Yeah, okay. It's going to be that until it turns into them deporting blacks. Nigga, they're going to deport everybody until it's us eventually. You know what I'm saying? And then until it's them eventually. That's what they don't get. You kick everybody out with hatred. Y'all just going to sit around this bitch and hate each other? Y'all just going to divide within the whites? It's a tale as old as time. Every predominantly white place y'all have moved from to be around other people, yet when other people are around y'all do this. What is that? All right, BBC News. The U.S. Supreme Court has ruled sweeping immigration raids in Los Angeles can continue for now, lifting a federal judge's order that had barred agents from making stops without reasonable suspicion. The 6-3 decision of the conservative majority court allows agents to stop suspects based solely on their race, language, or job, while a legal challenge to the recent immigration sweeps in LA works its way through court. So this guy says, stop and search for status to be in this country only, not arrest. That is part of what you originally said that is wrong. Also, they cannot search based off of appearance alone. To which somebody said, I'm sure this administration is going to follow the Supreme Court to the T. He has a good point. So this is the fucking article for real. All right, so this is on BBC. Supreme Court lifts limits on LA immigration rate. All right, so we just went through this page. Hold on. To be clear, apparent ethnicity alone cannot furnish reasonable suspicion, he wrote. However, it can be a relevant factor when considered along with other salient factors. Trump's mass deportation drive collides with city of immigrants. Farm workers fearing deportation stay in California's shadows. The Supreme Court's 3 liberal justices issued a strong dissent penned by Justice Sonia Sotomayor, who wrote that countless people in the Los Angeles area have been grabbed, thrown to the ground, and handcuffed simply because of their looks, their accents, and the fact that they make a living by doing manual labor. Today, the court needlessly subjects countless more to these exact same indignities, she wrote. The White House welcomed the ruling, vowing in a statement to continue fulfilling its mandate to arrest and deport criminal illegal aliens. Today's ruling is not only dangerous, it's un-American and threatens the fabric of personal freedom in the United States of America, Bass said in a statement. Bass is Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass. Okay, Newsom warned that Trump's private police force now has a green light to come after your family, okay? Because Governor Gavin Newsom also criticized this. The decision lifts an order by U.S. District Judge Mam E. Frimpong in Los Angeles, who had said that there is a mountain of evidence showing the raids were violating the U.S. Constitution. The order halted the raids, with Judge Frimpong saying that Trump administration cannot rely on factors like apparent race or ethnicity or speaking Spanish alone to stop or question individuals. The judge also barred immigration enforcement agents from conducting stops based solely on someone's presence at a particular location, like a bus stop, agricultural site, or car wash, or based solely on the type of work an individual does. The temporary restraining order was issued in a legal challenge by immigration advocacy groups who argued that immigration officers in Los Angeles were conducting roving patrols indiscriminately and were denying individuals access to lawyers. Judge Frimpong says this may violate the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution, which prohibits unreasonable government searches and seizures. The Supreme Court, however, said that the administration's actions have a good chance of ultimately being considered constitutional by the federal courts. Mind you, the Supreme Court is not voted on. It's appointed. By who? You guessed right. While its decision only pertained to Judge Frimpong's temporary restraining order, the justices also showed how the court would approach the lawsuit should it have considered an appeal down the road. They have also said that Judge Frimpong's order wrongly restricted ICE operations. Those behind the lawsuit challenging the raid said they were truly disgusted with the Supreme Court's decision. I didn't think this would be possible, Brian Gavidia, an American citizen who was briefly detained by federal agents in June, told the BBC. I thought we had laws here about racial profiling. Armando Gudina, a plaintiff in the case, raised possible national implications of the ruling. Mr. Gudino, the executive director of the Los Angeles Workers Center Network, a worker and immigrant rights advocacy group, said everyone in the U.S. should be worried, arguing the court had legalized racism. The Trump administration began sweeping immigration raids in Los Angeles in June, stopping and arresting people at Home Depot and other workplaces, and were met with immediate protests and civil unrest. Trump then deployed nearly 2,000 National Guard troops and 700 Marines in response, without authorization from the state of California. A federal judge has since ruled that the National Guard deployment was illegal. The White House responded that a rogue judge is trying to usurp the president's authority to protect American cities from violence and destruction. The Supreme Court's decision to let the raids continue come as the Trump administration looks to ramp up law enforcement in other cities, including Washington, D.C. In August, Trump ordered National Guard troops to the American capital to address what he says is high crime in the city. Mind you, they only arrested like 45 people or some shit like that. And is also using federal officers to bolster the district's law enforcement. Also, the people they were arresting, it was like weed and fucking drinking outside. Like, dude, what the fuck? He is now signaling that this week he will decide if he will also send federal law enforcement and the National Guard to Chicago. All right, guys. Man, what is going on?